a place built to power a nation, became the site of the most infamous nuclear disaster in human history. This is the story of Chernobyl. A chain of decisions, failures, and bravery that changed the world forever. To understand what truly happened, we need to go back to Soviet Ukraine in the early 1980s. The Soviet Union was racing to expand its nuclear capabilities. Electricity meant strength. Power meant progress. Near the small town of Pripyat, the government built the massive Chernobyl nuclear power plant. It housed 4 reactors, the RBMK 1000, a Soviet design known for efficiency and hidden weaknesses. At the time, few engineers fully understood those weaknesses. Even fewer dared to question them. By 1986, Reactor 4 was preparing for a routine safety test, a test no one expected would become catastrophic. April 25, 1986. Plant workers begin lowering power to run the test, but delays happen. A shift change, confusion, miscommunication. By the time the night crew takes over, the test is hours behind schedule, and they are under pressure to finish it. Power levels drop far too low. Operators attempt to raise them back up. Unknown to them, the reactor becomes unstable at low power. Still, the test continues. Critical safety systems are disabled because the test requires it. What happens next is a perfect storm of physics, pressure, and human error. At 1:23 a.m., operators insert the emergency shutdown command. Instead of calming the reactor, it triggers a violent surge. A massive steam pressure spike breaks through the reactor. Then a second explosion blasts through the building, sending debris and radiation into the night sky. Most workers don't realize what has truly happened. They believe it's just a fire. Firefighters rush in without full protection. They only know there's a fire, not that they're facing contaminated materials. Pripyat, the nearby city, keeps living. People watch the glowing sky without understanding the danger. The Soviet system responds slowly. Officials argue about what to report and what to hide. Radiation levels climb. Sensors malfunction. But the truth keeps getting worse. For hours, Moscow receives incomplete reports. No one wants to be responsible for admitting a disaster. Meanwhile, in Sweden, radiation alarms go off. Foreign scientists detect the problem before the Soviets even acknowledge it. Under pressure, the Soviet government finally releases a short statement, vague, uncertain, and late. Evacuation of Pripyat begins 36 hours after the explosion. People board buses, thinking they'll return in a few days. They never do. The reactor keeps burning. Experts fear another massive release. Helicopters drop sand and materials onto the reactor to slow the fire and limit radioactive spread. Thousands of workers, known today as liquidators, are mobilized to clean the site. They build trenches, remove debris, and fight contamination under dangerous conditions. Engineers design a massive concrete structure, the sarcophagus, to contain the destroyed reactor. A Soviet commission investigates the cause. They blame the operators. But years later, the truth comes out. The RBMK reactor design had serious flaws that were never properly shared with plant workers. The disaster was not caused by one moment, but by a system of secrecy, pressure, and a flawed reactor design. In 2016, a massive steel structure, the new safe confinement, is placed over the old sarcophagus to secure the site for the next century. Chernobyl remains a reminder of what happens when power, secrecy, and human error collide.